Lenten journey toward the cross of Christ, and in our sermon series that we've been in for this now the 5th Sunday in Lent, we have been walking with Jesus toward Jerusalem, walking along and seeing everything from when Jesus has just begun his ministry, was tempted in the wilderness, to meeting with women at the well, Nicodemus in the middle of the night, healing a blind man that had been born blind. Today we have what I call a preview of coming attractions, though, because this is a lot like when we go to the movies and they want to entice you. I'm not saying Jesus was necessarily doing that, but they want to entice you to come back. They want you to come and pay money and see this again or see something else new. So they show us 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, previews of things that are going to come. And so this story today is prophetic in the aspect of we're going to watch and have Jesus raise someone from the dead. But isn't that telling, since he himself, and just for us, a couple of weeks from now, we will be right here, same place, same channel, watching as Jesus has just been raised to new life. And so this morning we are going to be looking at a story that Jesus, is involved in, but this one is literally a preview of what's yet to come. So let's get started and see what the Word of God has for us today. Chapter 11 of John's Gospel, beginning with verse 1. A man named Lazarus was sick. He lived in Bethany with his sisters Mary and Martha. This is the Mary who later poured the expensive perfume on the Lord's feet, wiped them with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was sick. John doesn't say it here, but this is also the same Martha and Mary that had the dispute about whether, Mary should be out helping to clean, while Martha was doing all the work, and Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet. So we have this family, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, who Jesus was very close to. He seems to have been good, close, personal friends with them. So verse 3, so the two sisters sent a message to Jesus telling him, Lord, your dear friend is very sick. But when Jesus heard about it, he said, Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. No, it happened for the glory of God, so that the Son of God will receive glory from this. So although Jesus loved Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, he stayed where he was for the next 2 days. Finally, he said to his disciples, let's go back to Judea. But his disciples objected. Rabbi, they said, only a few days ago the people in Judea were trying to stone you. Are you going there again? They're like, wait a minute, this could cost you your life. Do you remember? We were just there, not long at all, and they were trying to stone you. And Jesus replied, there are 12 hours of daylight every day. During the day, people can walk safely. They can see because they have the light of the world. But at night, there is danger of stumbling because they have no light. Then he said, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but now I will go and wake him up. The disciples said, Lord, if he is sleeping, he will soon get better. He's like, we don't need to go over and wake somebody up. Are you kidding me? You could get killed. If he's sleeping, somebody else can wake him up, can't they? And so they thought Jesus meant Lazarus was simply sleeping. But Jesus meant Lazarus has died. Now remember, at this point, all Jesus had known, interestingly enough, is that Mary and Martha sent word, your friend Lazarus is very sick. Jesus is the one that says, Lazarus is very sick, but his sickness will not end in death. Jesus brings up death the first time. He's only sick, but Jesus says he's not going to die. Now he says, we need to go because Lazarus has fallen asleep and we need to wake him up. And they're like, can't somebody else wake him up? And he says, oh no, he's not just sleeping, he's dead. Now no one in this story says, wait a minute, hold the phone, found out. I thought you said his sickness was not going to end in death. Is he dead or is he not? But no one does that. And Jesus goes on and says, and for your sakes, I'm glad I wasn't there. For now you will really believe. Come and let's go see him. Thomas, nicknamed the twin, said to his fellow disciples, let's go too and die with Jesus. Now we don't have voice intonation, we merely have the words. But do you hear a little bit of possible sarcasm? Well, let's go on too. We might as well go because he's going to die. We'll die with him. Then Lazarus is dead. We're dead. Jesus is dead. When Jesus arrived at Bethany, he was told that Lazarus had already been in the grave for 4 days. Jesus has known that Lazarus would die. We believe. And yet Jesus stayed 2 more days where he was, and there Lazarus, by the time they get there, has been dead for 4 full days. If you don't fill in your your sermon notes usually, you might want to consider this one, because most of us hit this at some point in our faith walk with Jesus. Trusting Jesus in his timing at times is very difficult, but it is always perfect timing to accomplish Jesus' plan. Trusting Jesus in his timing at times is very difficult, but it is always perfect timing to accomplish Jesus' plan. For some of us, well, maybe this is just my own self, but I am so this way. One of the hardest parts of faithful journeying with Jesus Christ as his disciple has been waiting for and trusting in the timing of God. I'm not the most patient person, and I'm not one that likes to wait. I like to do. I don't like to sit around and think something could happen. And if something has to be done, I'd rather get it done and get it behind me than to sit around and put it off. But that doesn't always work that way when we're walking by faith. So I can bear witness, though, it is well worth the wait, because God's timing is perfect for the purposes of God. Always. 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 Which, way back in the Old Testament, we have David, the king of Israel, in a psalm saying this. Chapter 27 of Psalms, verse 14, "Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord." So it wasn't a New Testament thing. It wasn't a 21st century thing. It wasn't a Claudia Stallings thing. It is a humanity thing that we have to learn to wait patiently for God and for God's timing. So if we find ourselves right now in a waiting game with God, we just need to hold on and be patient as we wait for God to reveal the next step. A miracle is coming for Lazarus, and more often than not, a miracle is coming for us too. So we continue. Bethany was only a few miles down the road from Jerusalem, and many of the people had come to console Martha and Mary in their loss. When Martha got word that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary stayed in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus told her, "Your brother will rise again." "Yes," Martha said, "he will rise when everyone else rises at the last day." She's like, "I know. I remember. I've heard you speak. And I know we all are going to rise at the last day. And so I do know that." Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying. Everyone," Jesus continues, "who lives in me and believes in me will never, ever die." "Do you believe this, Martha?" "Yes, Lord," she told him. "I have always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God." Now, we pause for another moment, because in the weeks that we have been going along this journey with Jesus, we've had Nicodemus proclaim, he says, "We know you're a rabbi sent from God, because we see the work you're doing." Then we had a woman at a well say, "I think you must be a prophet." And then Jesus tells her he's the Messiah, and she goes into the village and says, "This man's told me everything I've ever done. Could he be the Messiah?" Last week, we had a man born blind, and he's brought before the Pharisees twice, and they want to know, well, what happened? And they say, "What is your opinion of what he did? Because we're divided in whether we think it was good or not." And the man says, "I think he's a prophet." And then Jesus goes on to say, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And he says, "I would like to. Tell me who he is." And he says, "I am he." And he says, "I believe." So now today we have Martha, another one, saying, "I've always believed you were the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God." Then she returned to Mary. She called Mary aside from the mourners and told her, "The teacher is here and wants to see you." So Mary immediately went to him. Jesus had stayed outside the village at the place Martha had met him. When the people who were at the house consoling Mary saw her leave so hastily, they assumed she was going to Lazarus' grave to weep. So they followed her there. So now it's Mary, Martha, and a whole group of mourners. When Mary arrived and saw Jesus, she fell at his feet and said the identical same first sentence her sister said, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died." Now Martha follows it up with, "But I know that even now you can heal. I know you can do this." But Mary doesn't say that. But when Jesus saw her weeping and saw the other people wailing with her, a deep anger welled up within him, and he was deeply troubled. Now, other translations say he was deeply moved, but there seems to be an element, even in the Greek here, that Jesus is perturbed, that Jesus is upset, not just sad and sorrowful for Lazarus' death, partly because he knows Lazarus isn't going to stay dead. But there seems to be some discontent in Jesus. Now, whether it's their lack of faith, whether it's that he's just having to deal with this wailing, and he said, do you believe or not? Is it because he realizes, I don't have much longer with you? It's not going to be much longer that I'm going to be here physically to teach you. But for whatever reason, that's what we have in verse 33. "Where have you put him?" he asked them. They told him, "Lord, come and see." Then Jesus wept. The people who were standing nearby said, "See how much he loved him?" But some said, "This man healed a blind man. Couldn't he have kept Lazarus from dying?" Jesus was still angry as he arrived at the tomb, a cave with a stone rolled across its entrance. "Roll the stone aside," Jesus told them. But Martha, the dead man's sister, protested, "Lord, he's been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrific." Terrible. Same thing. The smell will be terrible. Jesus responded, "Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believed?" Again, we don't know more than what it says, but Jesus is like, would you please cooperate and just do what I asked you to do? I have a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan. I've asked you to roll the stone away. I've told you God's going to be glory. I told my disciples back, before we even came to Judea again. And now I've just said, please, just do what I asked. So they rolled the stone aside. Then Jesus looked up to heaven and said, "Father, thank you for hearing me. You always hear me, but I said it out loud for the sake of all these people standing here, so that they will believe you sent me." Then Jesus shouted, "Lazarus, come out!" I love this. And the dead man came out, his hands and feet bound in grave clothes, his face wrapped in a headcloth. Jesus told them, "Unwrap him and let him go." That's a sermon in itself, but we can't do that one today. Many of the people who were with Mary believed in Jesus when they saw this happen. Wow. Somebody just came back from the dead. Now, Jesus has done that before. A little girl, Lazarus' daughter, they've been raised to new life, they've been dead. But this Lazarus one, he's been in there 4 days, he's a close personal friend. Jesus is there, tons of people are watching, and Jesus just goes up, gets the stone moved aside. It doesn't say if anybody fainted from the smell or not. But he goes, "Lazarus, come out!" And Lazarus does what he's been told. He comes out, wrapped up in grave cloth. Yeah, headcloth and all. Last week, Jesus' disciples asked him whether a man born blind was being punished for his sins or the sins of his parents. Jesus had answered neither. He was blind so that that man's healing could be an indication of the power of God. Now today, we have Lazarus having died so that God's Son might be glorified when Lazarus is raised to life again. We had Jesus say that. And it can be like, well, gosh, did God just go around causing these things to happen so that it could make him look really good? Does it may come as a shock to you? It shouldn't. In this sin-stained, fallen from God's ultimate grace world that Lazarus and the man born blind and you and I and everybody since Adam and Eve has lived in, People are born blind and people die. What's happening is God is taking the things that are happening in the day-to-day lives of these people, and he is bringing life back. First to a man that was blind, well, before that, to a Pharisee telling him how to have new life. He's told a woman at a well everything she's ever done, but he offers her an experience with the Messiah so that her life is turned in a positive way upside down. He's healed a man that was born blind, who now can see. He says, I don't know who this man was. I don't know where he is now. What I do know is I was blind and now I see. And I know I'd do anything for this person. And now we have this close personal friend, Lazarus, who has died. These close personal friends of his, the two sisters, Mary and Martha, who have said, God, Jesus, if you'd only been here, our brother wouldn't have died. And Jesus is like, well, I'm here now. Let's see what we can get done. And he takes them and he brings the glory of God's coming kingdom to bear. So there's a message, I believe, for all of us this morning in this text. No matter how dead we may feel something is in our lives, Jesus can resurrect it. No matter how dead we may feel something is in our lives, Jesus can resurrect it. Now, it needs to be something Jesus wants resurrected. It needs to be something that Jesus wants for our lives. But if you believe that God has shared something with you and given you a promise that this is something he's going to handle, then give Jesus time to handle it. That's what the people seem to struggle with. If only he would have come before he died. Jesus, if you go there, you're going to get killed, which is actually true, he is, but that's part of the plan too. It can be hard. Believe me, I know. To be waiting and watching for the timing of God. Bless you. But when the timing of God does come, the dead come to life. And it doesn't have to be a physical person who has passed away. It can be something we thought would never, ever have life in it again. You know, it can be a part of our lives, a part of our family, a part of our work. It can just be a part of us. Something in us may have died at some point. And this morning, Lazarus is coming back from the dead as a powerful witness to the power of God to bring life over death. And a reminder to us that the life that God sent through Jesus Christ has come to be reclaimed for us. In the same Gospel of John, just a chapter before, John has had Jesus say these words, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." It encapsulates what Jesus has come to do. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I've come that they may have life and have it to the full. Other translations say have life and life in abundance. In essence, Jesus stood by that tomb that contained Lazarus and proclaimed to all those gathered there, and especially to the thief of life, who is Satan himself, no, not this time. Nope. You're not correct. Because you see, in just a matter of a little bit of time, we're going to do away with you once and for all. Now, we don't fully live into that yet, but post that cross, burial, death, burial, resurrection, we live with the Holy Spirit's power to bring life even in the midst of our sin-stained, yucky human lives. So Jesus proclaims that day, not just in words, but by action, that I am the resurrection and I am life. Anyone who believes in me will live even after dying, and everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never, ever die. Praise be to God for life and resurrection. Praise be to God indeed. Amen. Amen.